Algebra Book 7, Lesson 1, Multiplying Rational Expressions. So far what we've been learning recently is basically simplifying rational expressions like this to their simplest, most simple form. Now that will be helping us multiply what we want to do right now. And if we understand how to simplify them, or break them apart very well, then this will be very, very easy. This is not the hardest thing. This is actually quite simple. So let's get to it. What I would like you to do first is circle the numbers that I will tell you, the question numbers, because these are the ones we're going to do on the board. That way you know the other ones you'll have to do on your own. I will be doing number 1, 2, 4, and 7 with you. 1, 2, 4, and 7. And the rest we're going to do on our own. You can do on your own. So number 1 is this one right here. Just flip this off. There we go. That way we can write here. Let's simplify this as far as possible. Is there any numbers that we can simplify? Is there any variables we can simplify? I believe so. So with our numbers first, 9 goes into 27 3 times, and 9 once. And 2 and 4, 1, 2. Now, with our exponents, let's start with x's. 2 x's there, 3 here. So if we cross these out, then all we have left is 1 x here. With our z's, we have 2 here and 5 here. So this crosses out all the way, and this becomes a 3. And I believe you should know this, somewhere along the line you would have learned this, is that if they are on the same level, if they're both on the top or both on the bottom, you cannot simplify that. That's where you just go over and multiply horizontally. So, what do we have left on the top? A 3, y, and a y. So, it would be 3, y, we have 2 y's, y squared, over, what do we have left on the bottom? It'd be 2z cubed and 1x. So let's do this alphabetically. Let's put our x there first, and then let's do z cubed. So, there you go. You've got your answer. Now let's go on to the number 2. Basically, the same thing, we just have something like this. This is something that we learned in the last book, where we have to multiply this part by -1. Basically, put our -1 there and flip the signs. That way you can simplify. Let's do that. Let's simplify this part. Because they are both perfect squares, and there's a negative in between, so we take a minus and a plus. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 1 is 1. There we go. We have that part done. And now we have a 4x at the bottom because we can't simplify that. Then we have 7x squared at the top. And this. Let's try it. Same thing. Perfect square, perfect square. 1 minus x and 1 plus x. So, this part you can simplify right away off the back. You don't have to do any -1 thing. But this and this are opposite. These two are opposites. Therefore, if we want to change it so we can actually simplify these, put your -1 there, change that to a negative and this to a positive. Now, we have a -1 and a positive x. Therefore, now we can simplify those two. Now let's go on and simplify like we did that one. And these ones simplify. This simplifies. Now, what do we have left? Is there anything else that we can simplify? Yes. The x's. Oh, that's not 3. It's 2. Now, we have 2 x's here and 1 x here. Cross that one out, and we have one less over here. So what do we have left on the top? 7x. And what do we have left on the bottom? 4 and a negative 1. 4 multiplied by negative 1 is negative 4. There you go. Done number 2. One thing to keep in mind as we do these things, this one is very basic where you don't have to factor anything. Just remember, when we come up to something like this, we need to factor. That's one thing that's easily forgotten. No, I can't simplify these two. It doesn't work. So therefore, you just leave that in your answer. And it's not as simple as it can possibly be. So I will erase this and go on to number 4 and 7. So for number 4, as I was saying in the other one, that we need to factor these ones before we can multiply or simplify to begin with. So let's factor this one. Again, just to review, two numbers need to multiply. Which two numbers multiply to equal negative 21 and add or subtract to equal negative 4? So put your 2 cents of parentheses out. And I guess you can already put your 4 underneath. So x. Now, I'm pretty sure it's 7 and 3 because that would equal some 4. So a 7 and a 3. Now positives are negatives. Since this is a negative, then the largest needs to be a negative. So that one was done, is done. Now let's find the GCF of this one, which is 2x plus 3. Therefore, this is as far as we can simplify it. Now let's, as of right now, let's go ahead and simplify and then multiply. Those two can cross each other out. There's nothing else besides these two. 1 and a 2. Now, you can go one on top of the other and you can simplify these two. It does not have to be a cross, but it has to be the top with the bottom, not the top with the top, or the bottom with the bottom. It has to be top and bottom. So here you can simplify the 2 and the 2 yet. 1 and 1. What do we have left? At the top we have x minus 7. At the bottom we basically have 1 left. So anything over 1 is just the top, so this is our answer. Not too difficult. Let's go on to number 7. So this is the last one we're going to do together. It might look complicated. It's actually not. Just make sure you factor all of these before you start simplifying. So I find these the most fun, the funnest. So get your sets of parentheses out. X, multiply to get this number, add or subtract to get this one. I'm pretty sure it's a 5 and a 1. Now, they both have to be positive because those are both positive. Now let's do the bottom one. X at the beginning again. And now add or subtract to get this, multiply to get this, which would be, I believe, 2 and a 1. Now, since this one's a negative, the largest has to be a negative. Yep. And now let's do the last part again. Multiply to get 6 and add or subtract to get negative 5, which would be a 2 and a 3, because 6 and 1 don't work. Now, to get this a positive, we could do this both positive, but then this becomes a positive 2. So we have to do them both negative, because negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6, and negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. So that part looks good. Now let's do the bottom part. I really enjoy these. X, and now a 10 and a 7. Two numbers to multiply to get 10. Possibly a 2 and a 5. And that also equals 7. So let's do our 2 and our 5 here. And since they're both positive, let's just pop positives into here. There we go. Now, simplify. This one has a lot to simplify. We have a 5, x plus 5 and x plus 5. This and this. And these two. So this is all eliminated. Now all we have left is that. So let's put our x minus 3 over x plus 2. From all this, multiply the 2, and we get this. Not so difficult. So there's number 8 and 9. They actually have, instead of 2 terms, they have 3 terms to multiply. So there's no different steps. All you do is you just work right on through them. And then you should be good to go. Go ahead and do the rest of the lesson on your own.